Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Rory McIlroy has made some really big golf equipment changes in his bag this week at the Bay Hill Club and Lodge ahead of the Arnold Palmer Invitational in Windermere, Florida. And I'm going to go over each one of the changes Rory made, explain to you why he has made them, and try and help you understand Rory's thinking and see if it might be a wise move for you to make similar changes to your golf equipment bag heading into this season. Okay, so the big reason why Rory McIlroy is making golf equipment changes this week at Bay Hill is because he made a golf ball change a couple weeks ago, right before he won the 2025 AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. You see, before that tournament, Roy had been playing a TaylorMade TP5X. This is a 5-piece golf ball. It is designed to maximize out speed. But Roy that week changed into a standard TP5 golf ball. Now, the regular TP5 for Rory was creating more spin with his wedges and with his short irons. And so he was able to get a lot more control, and he really credited that spin and that precision with helping him win at Pebble Beach. Now, fast forward to this week at Bay Hill, and because Rory is so much more comfortable hitting 1/2 and 3/4 wedge shots with the TP5 ball, he was making some changes to his pitching wedge. Ordinarily, Rory's pitching wedge is at about 46.5 degrees. Well, he felt he was getting so comfortable hitting these 1/2 and 3/4 shots that he actually increased the loft from 46.5 up to 48 degrees in his pitching wedge. And he kept his 54 and his 60-degree wedge, but then he took out the 50. So Rory, before the start of the action this week at Bay Hill, has gone from a 4-wedge system, 46 stated loft, which is really 46.5, to 50, to 54, to 60. He's now at 48, even though the golf club still says 46, to 54, to 60. So that opened up one club in Rory McIlroy's bag that he could put in someplace else, and he decided to put it in at the top of his bag. Here's Rory in his own words Wednesday at Bay Hill.
For a while, I've been looking for a club that sort of carries 300 in the air. I feel like there's a lot of golf courses we go to that really pinch in at like 310, 320, and I'd hit a 3-wood, or I can't hit driver because it's just too narrow. But then I'd hit my 3-wood that's going like 285, 290. But guys that are shorter than me are hitting driver sort of 300 or 310. So I feel like I was at a disadvantage in some ways, even to like people that hit it shorter than me, depending on the course setup. So I messed around with the mini driver last year, but I just couldn't quite get comfortable with it. So I've sort of been playing around with like stronger 3-woods. So this 3-wood that I have carries like 300, 305 in the air, which is a really good club for me to have. And then I've went from a 5-wood to a 4-wood, and that 4-wood sort of bridges that gap. And then I've got the 3-iron that sort of replaces the 5-wood. So I've got a club that sort of flies 260, a club that flies 280, a club that flies 300, and then the driver. So that was sort of the reasoning behind them.
Now, the specific clubs that Rory has been swapping in and out, he's got a new driver in the bag this week at Bay Hill. He's switched to a TaylorMade QI35 driver with 9 degrees of loft. That strong lofted 3-wood is also a TaylorMade QI35 with 15 degrees of loft. The 4-wood has 18 degrees of loft, and he's using a prototype TaylorMade iron in his bag. It's this 3-iron that looks very, very similar to the P770 iron that was released in the second half of 2024. Okay, so while the distances are pretty ridiculous, and you really can't relate to needing a 300 club because your driver goes 325 in the air, the logic behind what Rory is doing is actually fantastic for recreational golfers to really understand. He's looking for very set distances because he knows where the hazards are, where the fairways are going to be pinching, and he wants to make sure that he can either comfortably fly over the hazard or past the point in the fairway where there's going to be trouble, or safely make a full swing and lay up short of it. So for his distances, he knows how far he's going to be able to carry his driver. He is thinking very logically in 15 or 20 yard gaps and having clubs that are going to allow him to make that swing off the tee and put the ball into the area where he's avoiding trouble. So number one, he's thinking strategically, which unfortunately most recreational golfers don't do when it comes to their golf equipment. Number two, he's very open, obviously, to putting in different types of clubs, different tools into his bag to accomplish different jobs. If he needs to go all out on a long par 5 and there's no trouble, it's going to be driver all day for Rory. if there is a hazard, if there is something that he, really catches his attention, he now has a club that is going to be about 20 yards short of that driver with that new souped up 3-wood. Then a 4-wood for him makes sense, and then some type of an iron. This is a big reason why I love systems like Arccos and ShotScope and other shot tracking systems that are out there on the market today. It's very easy compared with days gone by for you to find out exactly how far you hit each one of your golf clubs and then set up your bag accordingly. Most people overestimate how far they hit each club in their bag. They think they hit their driver 250, when in reality it's much closer to, say, 220 or 215. They think they hit their 5-iron 190. It's much more like, say, 168 or 170. Exactly what your club distances are really sort of creates what needs to be the logical progression through your bag. You want to think about how far you hit each club and have logical gaps between each one of those clubs. Rory is obviously doing that. So some really interesting stuff from Rory McIlroy, all stemming from making that golf ball change a few weeks ago when he won at Pebble Beach. It is now cascaded through his bag, so he's now using a 3-wedge system instead of 4. It allowed him to add one more club up at the top of his bag and really reassess his entire golf setup and how he's going to be attacking golf courses. It's a smart move for Rory. I think it could be a really smart move for you too. Look, if you got some good information on this video, it would be fantastic if you would like, comment, subscribe to my channel. It helps me out tremendously, and I'm happy to answer any questions you might have about different combinations of golf clubs and how they might be able to help you on the golf course navigate your way to hopefully shooting better scores. Thanks a lot, and I look forward to seeing you again real soon.